What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope you guys are doing well on a Friday, getting ready for your weekend. We're getting very close to the college football season out there, so I hope you guys are, getting the grills all, getting them undusted, wiping them off, getting all of your favorite proteins in, getting ready for great weeks to come this season in college football. So we're getting close, guys. I hope everyone out there is getting excited and doing well out there on a Friday. As always, guys, you know where to find us. We're on multiple streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So if you like what you hear on the show, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the show. It's definitely important for Chris and I. It helps us know what we're doing. And it helps us know how we can improve this show for the future for you all. So as always, guys, we very much appreciate you guys' support with the show. As always, guys, you know who I'm with. I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my man?
Hey, what's going on, Kory? We talked all off season about get us to August. Get us to August. We here, baby.
We here.
August is here. Well, now, man, your boy, I'm excited. It's a fun time. I mean, everything's coming to a head. With the camps are in full swing. Fall camp. We're gonna get into some things. We got battles popping off. We got teams trying to fight the injury bug. You want to get everybody up to speed, but you don't want to get hurt in the process. There's a whole lot going on right now. A whole lot going on. But it's a beautiful time. There's a lot going on, but in a sense too, it's also the calm before the storm, because this is as chill as it's going to be for a while. It's going to turn up here from the end of August into the new year, into 2026. So, hey, man, it's a great time to be a football fan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, you're absolutely right, Chris. We had the summer, we've had the spring and all of that. Media days has came and went, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But this is definitely that pocket before the season actually starts, where you're things are pretty quiet. Outside of heaven forbid someone gets hurt or anything. This is really the time where teams are cooking. Teams are looking at their depth charts, trying to plug in and plug out guys that will benefit them for this coming season. So this is a great time right now to be a college football fan. We've been anticipating seeing more college football, seeing brand new college football in the new year, and a new season is upon us, Chris, and I couldn't be more excited than you are, sir, and everyone else out there as well. Like this is what we've been waiting for.
Right. Think about this, Kory. We are literally 2 weeks away. 2 weeks from Iowa State at Kansas State.
Yep. I can't
August
wait.
23rd. Iowa State at Kansas State. First game of the season. And we get that. That's a banger out the gate.
I know.
In
Dublin, Ireland. The Irish, they get all of the great week 0 games out there,
Mm-hmm.
and the crowds are excellent. They love watching college football over there in Ireland. So it's great that we get to share the sport with them.
They will definitely fill everything out, and it'll be a good crowd. And So I mean, it's crazy, but like we have worked our way to this point. So it's only right that we dive into everything and we continue to break this bad boy down until it's time for kickoff.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that end, Chris. So yeah, man, we're here at this point, and yeah, like you said, a lot of teams right now are in training camp right now. We got fall camp going on right now, so this is definitely the call before the storm hits us. And yeah, I mean, through that, there are some things that we'll definitely talk about on the show, and I guess we'll go ahead and kick it off with something interesting, Chris. A quarterback battle in Columbus, Ohio is happening after all. I mean, look, folks, you can believe Ryan Day if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But according to him, there is a quarterback battle happening between Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kineholtz, if I'm presenting his name correctly, for the starting quarterback spot for Ohio State. And Ryan Day, in his words, and I'm reading this from a Associated Press article that's also linked through ESPN. So shout out to Associated Press for the good work. Ryan Day was asked about quarterback competition, and he said the competition continues. They both have had good moments and moments where they're growing. I will say I've been pleased with the progress. It's going to go right down to the wire. So, Chris, what are you thinking about Ryan Day's comments of Julian saying a lot of people went into the off season saying, hey, Julian's the guy. I think he's going to be the one that's going to help bring another national championship to Ohio State. What do you think about this recent situation, these recent developments of a quarterback battle happening in Columbus?
I'm not shocked, Kory. I'm not. We all know how highly touted Julian was coming out of high school. Top quarterback prospect in the nation when he originally was going to go to Alabama. And then good old Nick Saban said, yeah, I'm about to go ahead and start playing some golf and retires. And that's when things got flipped on his head, and Julian ends up now at Ohio State. But it's not easy to be the guy, no matter how highly touted you are, at a program like Ohio State. And Ryan Day has tasted victory. He knows what it takes to win a national championship now. And I can imagine as a head coach, you don't want to just say this guy is a starter. You want him to win the job. And if Julian Sayin has not won the job, then we have a quarterback battle. And that's what's going on right now. Doesn't sound like he's won the job, Kory.
Yeah, coming from Ryan Day, it sounds like this isn't a clear cut conclusion that he's the guy, and we went all the way through media days and up to this point of just kind of filling out some of the kinks of the offense with saying this definitely looks like maybe there's been this struggle after all. Oh, maybe he's not the guy. Maybe Lincoln's big. Yeah, I feel like he is
being quite honest with. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at Kineholtz, he's been with the program for a couple years already now. This is going into his junior year. We did see him hit the field in the Cotton Bowl a couple years ago when Ohio State was going against Missouri. Mm-hmm. And so I also saw that he's been one of the standout players this offseason for Ohio State. So he's turning up the pressure. He's someone that has, I would imagine, a good grasp of the offense. being at the program already a couple years, even though there is a coordinator change, we know Ryan Day is the lifeblood of what this offense is going to be. So I'm pretty sure there may be a few things different with the new OC there, but still, this is going to be a Ryan Day offense. And, we'll see how things play out. But when you have guys like Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and what they can bring on the outside at receiver, you might want to just lean on the guy who you can trust. It might not be the most talented guy. It might just be the guy that you trust to take care of the ball, make a few plays here and there. And I think there's a good chance that might be Kineholz this year for Ohio State. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on how this battle plays out. I think it's obvious that Julian is the more talented guy with his pedigree and who he is coming out as an elite prospect. But we see all the time, Kory, just because you're extremely talented, that don't mean you're going to end up being the starter or just given the starting job.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, like, you still have to work for that starting position. We've seen this. This isn't, our first rodeo, Chris, and I know a lot of people, you out there, this is your first rodeo of seeing quarterback battles come down to the wire before the start of a season. And it certainly won't be our last. It's just an interesting development because, during, the off season, especially like right after the national championship, everyone's talking about Julian Sayin being the number one guy to, help bring Ohio State back to another national championship, to repeat along with Jeremiah Smith and just that potent offense that they have. Just a bevy of talent that they have on that Ohio State team. They were looking at Julian Sayin being the guy, but and look, we're saying that with the assumption that he may still be the guy.
He still may be the guy.
Yeah,
right.
he still may be the guy, but right now he's working his butt off to get that starting position right now. And look, kudos to Lincoln Kiles. I mean, he's a guy that understands what it's like to be a Buckeye. He's stuck with that team. Of course, he's showcased his talents, and he's definitely showcasing why he should be the starting quarterback as well. So they're both working. they're both showcasing their talent to Ryan Day, and at this point now it's up to Ryan Day to make the best decision, the best team decision, to hopefully get Ohio State back to title contention and to try to repeat again.
So yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, just a little caveat, just a little nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Julian Sayin he isn't that big either. I mean, he's like 6'1", respectfully. 6'1" at the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. I think at roughly like 200 pounds. So he has a very live arm, very talented arm, but he isn't a huge QB either. So it makes sense if he isn't being consistent with that talented arm. He doesn't necessarily have those same measurables that like Cam Newton or Josh Allen or even a DJ Lagway or Bryce Underwood. Those guys bring to the table. So we'll see how this all plays out. But just something to keep an eye on. He isn't your prototypical like your 6'3", 6'4" QB that you would custom make in a lab. He is a slightly undersized.
Yeah, no, I definitely see his size of 6'1", 203. That definitely is a shorter tier of quarterbacks out there, coming in at that size. And it's not to say that, he can't perform at a high level with that size. But, yeah, this is Ohio State at the end of the day. They live and breathe for huge statured QBs out there, leading the charge. So
You see, they Stroud, Justin Fields. Those guys. They weren't short. They weren't small.
right, Terrell Pryor's these are guys who were like
Braxton Millers.
Yeah. Like these guys were freaking like Greek gods out there playing quarterback. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens as we get closer to the season, Chris. Hey, look, news like this just gets my blood pumping in the best way possible, man. Like it gets me excited, man, because we get to hear stuff like this, quarterback battles. It's nothing like it,
and it's very on brand too, because there's so much of a little, the table's being shaken when it comes to your blue blood programs and your top notch schools having a little flux at the QB position. Mm-hmm. So it is interesting to hear how things are going in one of those schools being Ohio State.
Right. Yeah, the defending national champions, having issues at quarterback. Oh, whatever would they do, Chris? Somebody call the police. We're having the issues right now.
If I know what they gonna figure somebody out who to get the ball to Jeremiah.
Oh yeah. When in doubt, we gotta find somebody to throw to this juggernaut of a wide receiver that we have.
It's just over the floor. He'll be there.
Yep, exactly. Oh man, but yeah, Chris, this is a great topic. That we just discussed. We'll definitely see what happens as the weeks progress, as we get into the season, and I can't wait to see what happens with Ohio State this year. This is going to be a big year for Ryan Day and for Ohio State in general to potentially try to repeat. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins that quarterback position and what Ohio State ultimately looks like this season. So I can't wait.
Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Anything else you'd like to add to this, Chris, before we move to our next topic?
I think we're good to go.
All right. Well, moving on, we're gonna move down south, Chris. We're gonna move to near your neck of the woods. Down there in Gainesville, Florida. Got an update. We go from one quarterback to another quarterback update. DJ Lagway. He's now been practicing at fall camp now. Seems like everything is good. Of course, with his injuries, of course, he's been rehabbing a lot. I think it's been his calf that he's definitely
left
been
calf.
nursing. Yeah, his left calf that he's been nursing pretty much all season. Pretty much a good chunk of last season as well too. So now all signs. I'm looking at a Sports Illustrated post by James Parks. So shout out to him for his work over at SI. Talks about Lagway is 75 to 80% healthy, according to a report, and this is pretty much citing from Pete Nakos of On3. That he's been nursing that calf injury and that he's getting closer to 100%. So, but yeah, all signs he's been practicing. They've been keeping him steady, slow and steady, not having him do too much. Which is a good thing. You're gonna need someone like DJ Lagway to be productive for that Florida offense. So it's gonna be interesting to see. As it gets closer to the season, if he can get to 100%, he's all good to go to have a really great year. But I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on everything, Chris, in terms of just DJ Lagway, what he means to Florida, and his journey to get to where he's at now, where he's finally practicing again.
Yeah, man, DJ. he's had his fair share of injuries in a matter of one season at QB for Florida, Kory. I mean, he admitted the shoulder thing. It was bothering him during last season. That wasn't just something that came up this offseason. The shoulder's been an issue. We remember the Georgia game, the hamstring. How he had to exit the game and how that was a problem. The hammy tightened up on him. And I think this led into the calf. When your body, you're trying to compensate for one part being injured, it leads to other injuries. And so I know that they're taking the finest care that the University of Florida can do to make sure that their prized possession, the man on campus, to make sure he's safe and sound and healthy. I'm sure he's getting all the ice therapy, the cryotherapy, and all the massaging and everything done. But just as an outsider, it's concerning to me, Kory. And I think if you're a Florida fan, no matter how much they tell you not to worry, I will be a little bit worried. If DJ Lagway goes down, Florida goes down.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't. I mean, it isn't more simple than that. You know, look, this guy. We saw the talent that he had last year and what he meant to that team. You know, coming in, of course, you know, after Graham Mertz had got injured. You know, DJ came in and he definitely provided a huge spark for Florida that. You know, it's not to say Graham was a bad player, but he brought something different.
He's the most hated man in Oxford. He's the reason Ole Miss is not in the college football playoff.
Yeah. He is. Flat out.
I mean, that's the kind of impact he had. He almost led Florida to an unexpected win against Georgia. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then we remember how he played against LSU as well.
Right.
So DJ's a bad boy.
Yeah, and yeah, he definitely is, and you know they're gonna need someone with his talents to get them further than what they were last year. I know to a lot of fans at Florida last year they thought the world was burning over there in Gainesville. They didn't know what to believe anymore from that group, and Billy Napier was right in the center of all of it. So they really wanted change in Gainesville, but out comes DJ Lagway. He has the season that he had, and now Florida fans they're looking to replicate this. They're looking to do some huge business down there in Gainesville with DJ Lagway. They want to see College Game Day down there. They want to see top 5, potentially number 1 team in the country, Florida, gracing your screen, gracing the newspaper down there. Like, people want to see that, and DJ is their best bet to getting them back to that stature. So they're doing everything that they can. I know he's doing everything that he can to be as healthy as possible, because a lot of people are looking for Florida to do big things this year, and they do have a very tough schedule, but you need your players.
And that 3-game stretch early on in the season, was it Miami, LSU, Texas?
I think so,
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. I'll look back at it again.
You get Texas at home. I believe you get Miami. I think you're playing at Miami, at LSU, and then Texas at home, if my memory serves me correct.
So this is the 3-game stretch. So you're all ready. So Saturday, September the 13th at LSU.
At LSU.
Following week, September the 20th, at Miami.
Yep.
And then it looks like you're gonna go into a little bit of a bye week, and then come back at home in a showdown versus Texas.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
That's rough, man. Look, I didn't even mention them after that. The following week, they gotta go to College Station, Chris. And we all saw that game last year between A&M and Florida. Wasn't pretty.
Yeah, man. Woo, boy, SEC football.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's true. And then you throw Miami in there, who has SEC caliber athletes. You might as well say Miami is an SEC team with the guys they got. So, yeah, man, that's a doozy. So we say all that to say, DJ got to stay healthy. They need him. They already can lose all 4 of those games with DJ playing.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have DJ, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So I'm curious to see how things go, because a calf strain, a calf injury, whatever you want to call it, calf strain, whatever's going on with this calf. If you're dealing with that right now, we're not taking hits. You aren't scrambling, making plays. It's camp. Will his body really be able to hold up for a 12-game season in the SEC with this kind of a schedule and the demands that Florida has for him to make plays?
It's tough.
I don't know.
It is tough. I mean, it just keeps going. We didn't even mention Georgia. At Kentucky, at Ole Miss, those. I think maybe you can handle those, but it's not even a sure bet, with some of those teams. So this is a tough schedule.
You need your guy.
Yeah, you need your guy. Yeah. You got to be all hands on deck. That's all I'm saying.
So, yeah, hopefully every day is getting better and will be close to, if not at 100%, come September. Because if he isn't, it could be a long year, Kory. I mean, Florida can go 10-2 or 2-10. I mean, there's a wide range of outcomes that can take place this season.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. And hey, look, you're a Florida fan out there. You're just hoping for the best, man. Put this man in bubble wrap. No matter how you do it, make sure you do it. I want to see this guy literally on like those hamster balls that you're just rolling around. If he has to get to the student union to get something to eat, man, like look. Just gotta find a way. We don't want this man stumping his toe for any reason.
I don't need him doing any extra movement. I need him getting everything DoorDash, Uber Eats. I need people I need him to have a driver. I don't need him driving anywhere. His barber needs to come pull up to his apartment.
He bring the chair to he bring the chair to him.
bring the chair to him, the light and everything. I need his groceries delivered. All of that. We don't need him doing any extra movements, any unnecessary movements. I hope his apartment is 1 story. No need to walk upstairs. He needs to be staying at the bottom floor. All that.
Oh man! Look, hey, all of these things, do it, Florida. Just make sure that you footing the bill. He all good. Look, he gonna give you the best season that he has. While being a Florida Gator, if he can get 100%, hey, just take care of him, man. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. So yeah, put that NIL money to good use.
Exactly. You got it, Florida. You can do this. I'm counting on you. Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure.
Oh man, but yeah, man. Look, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with DJ Lagway. Like I said, it is good to see him back out there on the grind. Throwing the football. Getting his feet wet with his.
He's pretty sharp too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's looking pretty sharp.
Yeah.
So it does seem like he's feeling okay. Mm-hmm. We just hope that he can sustain that health.
Absolutely, man. So, here's the hoping that he can have a great season this year because, great quarterback play. As well as any other position in college football, that's what we strive for. That's what we talk about. That's what gets us the clicks and gets the talk out there is when we get to see great quarterbacks perform. And here's the hoping that we can see a healthy DJ Lagway perform for the Florida Gators this year, and hopefully they can have a really good season.
Yep, like you said, hopefully he's healthy because this has been the theme of the off season. Kory, Alabama got a new QB. Mm-hmm. Texas has a new quarterback. Georgia has a new starting quarterback. Yep. But you got your guy back, so you want to try to take advantage of this window, this little sliver of opportunity to possibly make a leap this season and try to catch some teams maybe on a possible down year. So you need DJ healthy to make that happen.
Yeah, man. I think that's all it takes, man. If they can get him healthy, I think they'll be in a great spot. So we'll definitely be chiming in, getting the updates, as we hear the progress going on down there in Gainesville. But it's great to hear that news that he's back out there. So yeah, man, we'll definitely be talking about DJ Lagway and those Florida Gators as we're heading towards the season. So anything else, Chris, would you like to add about DJ Lagway before we move on?
Sir, I'm good.
All right. Moving along, we will. So, Chris, it's been a couple weeks, of course, since we had recorded. Right at the time when we did last record, Media Days was just like, there was that pocket where it was just kicking off. I think we had Big 12 Media Days. We got to hear, Deion Sanders, of course. Did get to hear, about, his health scare. Of course, he's cancer free now. That's amazing to hear because, Coach Prime, great for college football. He's proven that. No one can't say that he isn't great for college football because he's proven that time and time again. That he definitely brings the excitement to the sport. So just hearing that news definitely warmed our hearts. That he's doing well.
Definitely. Yeah, was so nerve-wracking. I'm sure it has been for his family, the family members that knew everything that was going on. And hopefully he can continue to stay healthy. But yeah, it's always good news to hear a coach's health is on the upswing after experiencing some scary lows.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're talking about people. Mm-hmm. And then also, that relationship he has at that program, he's grooming young men. And I'm sure if anything, were to happen where he's unable to coach, he has to be away from the program, it would have a huge impact on those guys. So, you want him healthy, continue to have a positive impact that he's had on the players in Colorado so far.
Right. So yeah, man, it's great to see him, in great spirits, talking college football. Of course, he's excited for the new season.
He's excited.
Oh yeah, he's definitely excited. Look, he's dealing with his own quarterback battle right now in Boulder. So, and hey, he's excited about it. He's like, look, my son, Shadur's going, hopefully do great things for the Cleveland Browns. I got my own thing going on, with my new quarterback battle right now, Caden Salter and Julia Lewis.
It's a chance for Coach Prime to flex his muscle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like this is almost a new slate.
Exactly.
No Travis Hunter, no Shador. So let me show y'all what I can really do.
Exactly. And I think that's what's going to make this season so exciting. And seeing Coach Prime. He's already proven a lot that he can hang out there with some of the big dogs in college football. But this is going to be a challenge for him, man. Look, we know about Deion. This is a guy that doesn't shy away from a challenge at all. He definitely wants to prove a lot to the national media that, hey, you counted us out. You didn't know what we had in this new Louis V bag that I've been walking around in. He's thinking that internally. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see what Coach Prime in Colorado does this year. A lot of people have been looking at Utah, not counting them out. Moving along in some of the other leagues out there. We heard Rhett Lashley, talk about his team. He seems very excited about what SMU can do in his second year in the ACC. He even had some choice words, Chris, for the SEC in terms of national championships that they've won and how many teams that have won them within the league. And this is a guy who's represented. He's been in the SEC before, coaching at Auburn and multitude of other places. So I thought that was definitely interesting to hear throughout the media days blitz. What do you thought about Rhett Lashley's comments?
Yeah, Rhett he's ruffled some feathers with his comments, boy. He got some people upset.
Did he ever?
Oh man, the SEC is as deep as any conference is.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the top 25, Kory, and then outside the top 25, just the top 35 teams. Oklahoma didn't make the top 25 for the coaches poll.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a lot of people that feel like Oklahoma's one of the 15 best teams in the nation.
Yeah.
And we saw it last year. Ole Miss was primed and ready to be a playoff team. They lost to Florida, lost to Kentucky. Any weekend, anybody can get you in this league. And this goes down to just forever. That's how things have been in the SEC. You can't count your chickens too soon. You'll get got.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man. I think Rhett's on his own with whatever he got going on. I'm gonna let him sip that Kool-Aid. I don't want no parts of it.
Look, shout out to him for what he did last year with SMU. They had a great year, and I think this year with Jennings back and a couple other people coming back on that team, I think they have an opportunity to showcase that, hey, they got staying power in the ACC. But hey, I'm gonna let Rhett. I'm gonna let Rhett say what he has to say. I'm just gonna stand back.
Sometimes his opinion, but that's on him.
Yeah. That's on him. You know, I have no control over what Rhett Lashley says. You know, when he's very open and honest.
But he should feel that way though, Kory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's for his conference, so we're not mad at him.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's the competitive nature in the one Rhett Lashley. I know that this is a guy, he's been in the college ranks for quite a while now. Like I said, he's been in the SEC before. He knows what it's like to be in that conference. One as a coordinator, but hey, I mean, now that he's a head coach in a major program like the ACC, he's definitely, and gotten the success that he's gotten in the ACC. He's walking around with a little swagger now. He now, he has that feel that hey, he wants to compete at a high level. He thinks that he can recruit at a high level, and he definitely can. Nothing is stopping him, or no team is stopping him from succeeding. And I think he definitely isn't looking at the SEC as a threat to what he has going on in Dallas with SMU going forward. So he's just really showing his competitive nature, and who can blame him? I mean, this is a guy he's earned that opportunity, and he wouldn't be their coach in the SMU, Chris, if he didn't earn that opportunity. So hey, who's to call him out?
That chip that he carries, that swagger, like you mentioned, those feelings he expressed. You don't accomplish these things that he's accomplished in his career, and getting SMU first season in the ACC to a conference championship. You don't do that without having a us against the world or forget y'all mentality. So I'm gonna let him cook. You know what I'm saying? But hey, shout out to him though, because you gotta have nothing but respect for the mentality and what they're doing at SMU. But with that being said, yeah, I don't know if he'd be talking like that if he was in the SEC.
No, I think you keep look, closed mouths don't get fed. That's what they say. So I ain't saying nothing. Okay, I'm just happy to be here. All right. Oh my gosh, man! No, you're absolutely right, Chris. This whole media days, of course. You pretty much had your by the book, coaches, coming in, being excited, of course. And talking about just the SEC. Clark Lee from Vandy seems very excited. He's talking about, hey, Diego Pavia. Yeah, he's very excited. He's talking in a way like, look, we're being disrespected right now. I'm gonna let y'all chill right now. Hey, like Vandy right now, they feeling like Mississippi State was every year when they get picked last and then they like tie for fourth. I'm feeling that energy.
Diego walking around with his chest wide, shoulders spread.
I'm telling you, man, this man is looking like Debo after that media days, man. When I heard,
I love it though.
I love it too. When I heard Clark Lee and Diego Pavia pretty much talk about like, hey, I think this team is much more talented than last year's team. Hey, that gets me excited. I want to watch some more Vandy football.
Let me go check something. Let me go look at the schedule real quick for Vandy.
You know what? I think we got to. We got to show that respect.
Oh, we do need to show them some respect because that This actually making a few of these games a little more interesting. If Vandy is really out here like that.
Yeah.
Okay, now. So September 13th is going to be a weekend for the books, Kory.
I know.
Vandy plays at South Carolina, at Williams-Brice.
Wow.
Look. I'm gonna put. Can I put South Carolina on a subtle upset alert, Kory?
Go ahead.
Too soon.
I don't think so. I think we get close to the season now.
Because look, there's a lot of hype around South Carolina, but this is one of those games where it can get a little hot, and this game might be a little closer than what people are anticipating in Columbia. And there are some questions I think to have about South Carolina this year. Me personally, I have a few questions. I want to see if they get answered. I think that's an interesting matchup. So we'll see what Vandy does in that game. And then Vandy goes to Alabama October 4th. If Alabama hasn't figured some things out at quarterback or whatever they got going on with their team, if they're struggling out the gate, that could be an interesting game too, Kory.
Look, this season right here, look, all bets off. I think anyone is due for a loss. We saw it last year, and we have seen it a couple years this year. I think, now that NIL and all that stuff has been cleared up now, I think anybody can get it at this point. Anyone is due for a loss now, and I think everyone, you can kind of say now is on an even playing field, and that's what's, for me, I think that's what's bringing the most excitement and joy in the anticipation of the season.
Yeah. So if you're telling me Vandy is here, Vandy's good. Oh, this season just gets even crazier.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. I'm ready, boy. I'm not gonna lie, because who doesn't like the underdog, man? Who doesn't want to see Vandy sneak up on some people, flip the table upside down, and win some games that just 10 years ago we would say you ain't got no business winning.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we'll say right now you ain't got no business winning.
I mean, none of us expected to be at this point talking about Vandy football being legit and being an absolute, threat towards anybody in this conference. We were thinking for years to come, like, Vanderbilt
automatic dub.
Yeah, right. It's an automatic W. Like you haven't even played it yet. You just automatically just go over to the schedule, just W. But that's not the case anymore. We got a guy like Diego Pavia, which is, I'd say, one of the most charismatic quarterbacks, coming back this season. Great for college football. I'm excited.
Playmaker.
Yeah, true playmaker. Find ways to get the ball down the field and finds ways to take the ball himself and get it downfield. The guy's he's electric. I give him that.
He is. Like you said, and then you got Coach Lee and the confidence that he's instilled in this team, this program. They think they're here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun season. We hinted at South Carolina, Lenore Stellars, and all the hype surrounding him. First team preseason All SEC.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
That's huge praise.
Yeah,
that's huge praise. I'm not trying to put have everybody bring out their umbrellas and rain on South Carolina's parade. But Kory, who is he throwing the ball to? I'm being for real. Like, they really don't have nobody proving that wide receiver out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, That's going to be one of the things that we're going to have to see from South Carolina this season. Yeah, I mean, look, we'll find out. I mean, as I'm like looking at their roster right now, a lot of new guys. Luke Doty is looks to be back again for this year. I mean Nick Harbor. A lot of people talk about Nick Harbor. Being that guy. I mean, so outside of Nick Harbor and Doty,
I got some talented guys, but they don't have nobody proven.
Yeah,
and that's what's so interesting about this team. A lot of talent, but are we going to see it all come to fruition? So I don't know, man. I'm very curious to see. So
yeah, I mean, if you flip the script, Chris, I mean, we look at someone like South Carolina at the wide receiver position, then we go into LSU. This is a team, and look, I heard Brian. Yeah, they got too many. They got so many receivers. They can hand some receivers to other teams within the league.
South Carolina, a couple of them.
Yeah, for real. Like it definitely can happen. Like the transaction can be made. but no, I was gonna say, just listening to Brian Kelly, and I heard a little bit of his comments from Media Days, Chris. The guy seems pumped up. He seems excited. And I think a lot of that is that he knows the LSU fan base and he knows what he needs to do to be successful, Chris. I know you've talked about LSU all off season. This is a big year for Brian Kelly. He has to make moves into getting into the college football playoffs this year. No buts, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has to find a way.
For sure. It ain't false confidence, Kory.
Yeah.
He sounds like that because he, brother. If you see what he's seeing at practice every day, I'd be confident too. if I got Nussmeier throwing the ball to Nick Anderson, to Barian Brown, Chris Hilton, Trudez Green. You got Durham at running back. This team is nasty.
They are.
This team is nasty.
They are.
Yeah. So he's confident for good reason. I'm just put it like that.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Look, this is the most confident I've heard of a Brian Kelly in quite a while. But hey, when you're
Aaron Anderson, I can't forget Aaron Anderson.
No.
There's too many of them.
It's just talent everywhere. It wouldn't be LSU if you didn't hear about all this talent. It's like they grow talent down there, Louisiana.
They do. And we even touch on the defense with Week. Harold Perkins Jr.
Yep.
You bring in Stamps, them boys are tough out there.
They are.
Them boys are tough.
They are, man.
It's going to get ugly.
I know.
So y'all right now, it's going to get ugly.
It's going to be an interesting season for LSU, but I can't wait. I can't wait to watch the Ole Miss game, see if they get some some get back on the Rebels. At Alabama, the game between Alabama and LSU is always crazy. I didn't even mention at Clemson to start the season, so
that's gonna be a doozy right there.
Yeah. So it's that's gonna be a massive game that we're definitely gonna be talking about once that game gets here. But yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, it kicks off the season.
kick off the season, and that could be the game of the year. We're talking about two national championship contenders in my eyes. Man, yeah. Oh my goodness, boy. I can't wait for us to watch this game, Kory. We got so much to unpack. It's going to be too much going on. I'm going to have about 2 TVs on in the house. I'm going to have to get the laptop rolling. The cell phone going to have a game on too. I'm feel like I'm going to try to make the spot Buffalo Wild Wings. It's going to be games on everywhere.
Like every Saturday, look, man, I got my weekly, my Saturday appointment at Buffalo Wild Wings, man. You know what I need? I need my flats, lemon pepper. I need like 8 TVs all on college football.
Oh snap! No, for real. I'm gonna have to get the iPad out too.
Yep.
If you got a desktop, throw some games on the desktop too. I mean, you can have a multi screen. You can put about 3 or 4 of them joints up at the same time. But that's really how it's about to be this season. And this is us previewing the season. Ain't nothing happened yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
ain't no touchdowns been thrown yet. This is just pure excitement from both of us.
Exactly. So, but no, it's the media days were cool, and I think we got a lot of storyline. We got some good appetizers to discuss, like we're doing now. Some little nuggets to think about, and I'm just ready for that entree. I'm ready for Saturdays.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait. It's going to be great. After this week, I think now this is really just the time for everyone prepping and priming up their schedules to get ready for college football week in and week out on top of NFL. So but yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. I am so pumped, so excited that we've gotten to this point. And a couple of other teams, Chris, just before we kind of wrap up, I'm just going to name them right quick. Tennessee don't have Nico Iamaleava anymore. They got to figure out something to do about it. The biggest story.
It was the biggest story for a while, and look at everything that's happened. It kind of got it just to the side.
Just pushed it down. It's like when you throw stuff in the trash can and the trash can starts to fill up. It's like, oh man, you just get shot by it. It just starts pushing it down. That's what all the media blitz did.
Tennessee and UCLA legitimately traded QBs.
Yeah.
But out goes Nico, in comes Joey Aguilar.
Yeah. What odds? What odds they have? Oh man, but hey, it's a story, Chris, that I'm interested in seeing. What happens to it. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Is Tennessee going to be okay without Nico? Is Aguilar the guy? What's going to happen? I'm invested. I'm interested.
Will they be susceptible to lose to Vandy?
Who knows?
If things don't go the way that Tennessee fans will like, if it's a rough season, hey, we'll see. But or things could be even better.
Yeah.
Nico, as good as he looked the first 4 games of the year, that running game and that defense is what carried Tennessee to the playoff. If Joey can spin it, and it's a match made in heaven in that system out the gate, I don't think people are talking enough about the ceiling that this Tennessee team can have. Because I know Dylan Sampson was a great back, but I just kind of feel like in this system, And the way uh, things are set up there, you can kind of put, if you get the athletes, you can replace a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
And if the QB is doing what he's supposed to do and making the right reads, hey, Coach Heupel might have something going with Tennessee. I would love to see how this season. I'm going to love to see how the season plays out, because there's I think a hidden feeling that Tennessee can hit that people we're not discussing enough. Honestly, Kory.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, Chris. Yeah, it does. It does seem like, some people are, kind of writing off, or they have, written off Tennessee throughout this whole off season, and saying like, oh, they let go of Nico, it's all over. How can they get back to prominence? How can they get to a college football playoff and actually stay in it? All of this rhetoric was being thrown at them this whole offseason. Getting close to the season now. Now's the time that Tennessee shows us, like, hey, was this just a big misunderstanding? Was people just being overzealous with the Tennessee is done for, is cooked rhetoric? Now is the time to actually show that. And can Joey Aguilar be that guy that presents Tennessee fans with, hey, there's no drop off. I am your guy. Follow my lead. Are we going to see that? I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. But I think when hearing about Joey Aguilar and just seeing him in action, he seems like a guy that's very energetic, very happy to be at Tennessee. What more? What more would you want out of your quarterback?
Yeah. No, like you said, talented guy, happy to be there, and Tennessee's happy to have him. So it feels very much like Tennessee against the world.
Yep.
And I think Coach Heupel wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly. I think so too, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, Chris. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Tennessee. So yeah, we'll definitely see what the Volunteers do this season. Well, the other team that I wanted to mention right quick, Michigan Wolverines. New year, new quarterback. What are you looking at, Chris? In terms of Michigan, look, they got a date with Oklahoma. They got to go to Oklahoma. That's gonna be fun.
It'll be fun for us to watch. I don't know if it'll be fun for Michigan.
Look, man, as soon as they see Mateer go out there and he throw about 2 or 3 touchdowns, they're going to like, wait a minute now. and me and you going to be like, look, we told you. Mateer don't be playing.
we warned you about them Sooners. Yeah. But Michigan, I think it's like an interesting gap here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the expectations are high. I really don't know if they should be, Kory. Michigan's just a little frisky.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just want to sit back and see how things play out, because then you watch them in the bowl game. They beat Alabama. And that was respectfully just an inept offense last season. Like, how they won games, I really don't know how.
I don't know how they did it either.
I don't know how they won the games they won, but they did. So it's like, it makes sense why people would be excited when you bring in top quarterback in the nation, a guy who's being comped as a college prospect to Vince Young, mm-hmm. with his build and athleticism. And you tell me I got Vince Young at quarterback, I'd be excited too. But I just don't know if Michigan has the athletes yet, and just how soon it will click. Because Vince Young wasn't Vince Young overnight, Kory. It took a little time for Vince Young to become who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to put the brakes on Michigan a little bit and give them some grace and let's see how this team plays. But people are definitely excited and got this team highly touted. I want to say they're top 15 in the coaches poll, preseason coaches poll.
Yeah. It's it's gonna be interesting to see what Michigan does. How Bryce Underwood performs. I mean, look, they spent the money, got the guy there to Ann Arbor.
Oh. you talk. They brought out multiple Duffies, duffel bags, the Louis bag, any designer bag you could think of. They brought it and included that with the money. And said you take the bag with you. You don't just take the money. You can keep the bag too.
You know when you see those official visits at Texas, and you see all of those Lambos just lined up. Like the bags were in the Lambo, like it was like tons of bags, and someone just drove up in the Lambo and told Bryce Underwood, like, "Hey, the bags and the car is yours."
Yeah. Where's your hand? Open your hand up. Take the key. All that's yours. The money, the bags, the money and the bags in the car. All that. You keep that.
Like it all was yours. Like, look, that's yours, man. Like, we got all this for you. No questions asked, man. You deserve it. Help us, help you. You know what I'm saying?
You always want to be a Wolverine. We want to make sure that we always wanted you to.
Exactly, man. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I thought I should add Michigan just because they've had one heck of an off season too, and getting the number one quarterback in last year's class and Bryce Underwood, and you're going to definitely see him out there this season perform. So what does Michigan have in store?
It's a great question, Kory, because we don't know exactly what we're going to get out of Ohio State, out of Oregon. And State does bring back Drew Allar. Mm-hmm. They kind of are Penn State.
Yeah.
Are we sure that? Are we sure Penn State's going to keep doing what they did like they played last season? So you would think so, but they still got a little bit of that Penn State funk to them, respectfully. But no. So it is curious. It is interesting. So they could make some noise and mess around, and if the big dogs are struggling, there's a little bit of a window that they could squeeze their way into and maybe try to fill the void, and maybe Michigan has a season that some people don't see coming. Maybe they could be a sleeper, a dark horse to win the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, hey, if so, it'll be interesting to see. What happens. I think this team, Michigan always finds ways to win. We've seen it. It's like you mentioned, like, how did they win the games that they did with minimum to no offense? So at that point, you can't count out Michigan. Like they just figure out ways to be successful any way that they can be, and I know that this year will be no different.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens with Michigan, and I know we'll definitely talk about some of these teams some more when we do our top 25 on next week's show. So yeah, man. Last one that I wanted to mention. And we can just kind of blitz through this one real quick before we head out of here. Miami Hurricanes. This is a team, Chris, that me and you have talked about. I know you had your choice words in saying what you think about the mission about Miami, about the Hurricanes. We now Looking at a team now with Carson Beck being at the helm for the Hurricanes. So things are going to be looking different down there in Miami, Chris. What are your thoughts about just Miami in general heading into this season?
It's a big year for Miami football. You spent the bag again on a quarterback. Bringing in Carson Beck to replace Cam Ward. And Carson's a good QB, but I think there's a lot of pressure around this Miami program this year, Kory. And I think they'll be a good team, but I don't know if they can live up to the pressure that is around this team. They don't want this team to just be good. This team needs to make the playoff. They silently are under the same kind of pressure that LSU is to make the playoff out there in Miami.
Go figure.
It's very similar situations. Like, let me put it in context. Miami, let's just keep it a buck. They had the same season LSU had in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Elite offense. Jaden Daniels wins the Heisman. Cam Ward, he didn't win the Heisman, but the man was incredible and went on to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. Had an elite offense. That offense was one of the 12 best offenses in the nation. But the defense let the team down, and Miami didn't make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Same thing to LSU. Mm-hmm. Fast forward now, you need to make the playoff because you pissed away a season where I think a lot of people in college football who cover the game and watch it like we do, we would say you let that season get away. Miami and Ole Miss both let last season get away in not making the playoffs. You can't have that this year with the money that you are spending on this football team, most notably at quarterback. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what Miami does. You let Jeremiah Smith get out of your weeds, because he's a Miami Gardens product. So you let Jeremiah Smith go to Ohio State. It's little things like that, Kory, that probably are the difference in you being a playoff team when you lose top-notch guys in your backyard and they go off to go somewhere else. So we'll see how Miami tries to, feel how they fill out their roster and how this year's rendition of the Hurricanes perform. But it's little things like that, I think, that will get criticized more and more if you don't win this season.
No, you're absolutely right, Chris. I think just to kind of wrap everything up. Miami is definitely in a similar path that LSU is right now, where you have to win now, and we saw that season last year. They were this close into sealing their fate into a college football playoff berth, and they had the tools to win it. Like Restrepo, Ward, all of these guys, that defense was nasty.
Inez, you had Horton at receiver, mm-hmm. Arroyo at tight end. I mean,
they were clicking on all cylinders.
The team was stacked.
Mm-hmm. That was weeks last year. We didn't think no one would be able to touch them. And then the outcomes.
We thought they were a top 5 team.
Yeah, literally.
As explosive as they were. Yeah.
Yeah, we thought that they were, borderline untouchable. And then the outcome, what was that? That Thursday night Virginia Tech game. That showed some of the cracks in the armor.
Cracks started showing, my brother, and Georgia Tech said, "Don't worry, we got this."
Yep. They were like, Virginia Tech was like the Woody meme was like, hold on, let Georgia Tech cook right quick. We couldn't do it. Let them cook.
We're gonna let them finish it though.
Exactly. The cooking, the flambeing they did that game.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, man. Like it's gonna be interesting to see what Carson Beck does at Miami, and we want to see what Mario Cristobal can accomplish while being the head coach of Miami. I know fans down there are starting to get restless. They want to see Miami come back to prominence, and at some point you got to do it. You gotta get these guys back into performing at a high level, and can they do it? They definitely have the talent to do it. They just got to put it together.
We're going to learn a lot about Coach Cristobal, and there are people who have questioned this staff and their ability to coach in game. Mm-hmm. Let's just put it out there, Kory.
Yeah.
There's no one questions their ability to bring in talent. It's what can they do with said talent. And I think this is going to be a big year in this staff's legacy, defining year. Can they answer those questions and the noise? Can they silence the noise? Mm-hmm. Silence the people that are questioning them? Because I can tell you right now, you give Georgia Tech those same athletes, I know what's going to go down with their coaching staff. You give them boys.
Oh, yeah. Look, man, Georgia Tech, they already, licking their chops right now. They Birdman hand rubbing out there.
I know what they about to do with the boys they got right now. I already know how Georgia Tech going to get down. But we'll say that for next week. We'll say that for next week.
Yeah. That's just a little teaser. Just a little teaser out there for you good folks. Oh man, but no, Chris, no, this was great to just kind of talk about just media days overall, some of these coaches and things that they said, and we're here now. We can definitely kind of break down some of these teams as we're getting closer to the season starting, and I know we'll talk about a lot of these teams a lot more in depth on our on the Bolton's Bets. Top 25 of 2025 preview. So yeah, man. Yes. You all ready for that?
It's about to go down. We're not going to get too out there.
Yeah.
But let's just say I'm sure there's about 5 or 10 teams that I think people are sleeping on, and we will be sure to highlight them in our top 25.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I know that you're gonna be cooking up, a great top 25. Of course, me and you are gonna be talking about it. But before we present it out to the public. But hey, this.
We're always ahead of the curve when it comes to some of these things, man. Yeah. People, y'all remember what podcast told y'all to look out for Arizona in 2023 before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some more gems for you guys. So just definitely tune in to the next pod as we get ready to break down the top 25, the preseason top 25. We got something in store for you.
Absolutely. Can't wait for us to definitely talk about it and showcase that top 25 for you all. I'm excited. Chris. I know you are too.
Oh boy, what Pat Bev say? Licking my chops.
Exactly.
I'm ready.
Exactly. Oh man. Well, Chris, another great episode, sir. Always great talking college football with you. We are here near the beginning of the 2025 college football season, so we're revving everything up. We got some great stuff, great content coming out for you good folks out there, and things are going to be looking
a little different. Yeah, we got some things coming up here.
Yeah, got some things coming up. As what
we got a few things brewing, so y'all be on the lookout.
Yeah, exactly. So So yeah, as my good co-host Chris has said, be on the lookout for some updates for the our own media blitz. Taking shape. Red Lashley, Brian Kelly, others, they ain't gonna stop our shine.
Oh, 100%. Oh man.
So yeah, folks, definitely be on the lookout for that. In the coming weeks as we get ready for a new season of college football. So yeah. But Chris, got some outros before we leave on today's show. Let the good people know where they can find you on social media.
Sir, you can holler at me on Twitter or X. I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter. Whatever you want to call it.
It's okay. I still call it Twitter sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna forever be Twitter in our hearts.
Yeah.
At Chris_Bolton_12 and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Also be sure to go to the TikTok. We're gonna have the TikToks coming to y'all. Mm-hmm. So be sure to check out our TikTok. And also be on the lookout for the YouTube. The YouTube will have some upgrades as well. So just stay locked in. We're about to take this up a notch here, 2025 college football season.
Absolutely. So yeah, and you can definitely follow me, y'all, on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football, of course, professional wrestling, the whole nine. So yeah, definitely follow me on there as well. So yeah, folks, like Chris and I said, definitely follow us on all of our social media platforms and everything, and try to like, comment, and subscribe to the show if you get a chance. It's definitely important for us. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all. So as always, guys, we very much appreciate you guys' support with the show. But yeah, you'll definitely see us back next week. Of course, we're getting things revved up for a new season of college football. Things will be looking different, but the talk that is college football on this show will definitely remain strong. Me and Chris, we cannot wait to present some things for you guys this year as we get ready for a new season of college football. So definitely be on the lookout. But until next time, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later. Peace.